Once upon a time, there was a young boy named Shinji who carried his murdered sister in front of a group of people in a very destroyed place. One of them told him that he was about to die. Shinji left his sister and told the person that he killed his sister and that he would also kill him. The person rushed towards him to punch him with a very strong punch, and Shinji fell to the ground. He then felt something very strange happening to him. He had been trying to use the real key all this time, but he had exceeded the maximum limit of the key, and the negative effects began to appear. Shinji died. Then we go to another world, in the city of Bayui. The same boy, Shinji, wakes up, but in a different body named Shuang. When his sister saw him, she hugged him with great joy because she was very worried about him since he suffered a fatal injury in a fight with someone. Many doctors told her that there was no way to save him. Shuang was shocked and wondered who this girl was and why she hugged him as if he were dead. He then found that his hands had suddenly shrunk, and he remembered his sister and asked about her. The girl was surprised because she was his sister, and she wondered how he could ask about her when she was right next to him. Shuang had traveled back in time because he had suffered a very strong shock from the real key at that time, so he was supposed to die. He looked in the mirror and found that he had become a child. We then get to know Shuang and his family, who were the Ken family from the poor family in the city of Donglin. He was born in the depths of the aristocratic class and currently lives with his father and sister and studies at the Wutong Academy. Due to the gains and machinations of the nobles, he was often bullied by a group of nobles at the academy, where there was a boy named Chang Xian who always bullied and beat him mercilessly. Shuang learned that he had moved to another body, so he reassured his sister that he was fine, but the wound still hurt him. He then thought that he really had a father now, and in his previous life, he grew up alone without a father or mother. He asked his sister where their father had gone, and she told him that he had something important to do. He did not care about these things and only cared about his health because he now carries the future of the Ken family and cannot afford to have another accident. Shuang tried to press forward, but he still had to face the cruel reality of being bullied at school. However, he felt hopeful and motivated to change his fate and stand up to those who had tormented him in the past. And we know that the Zhang family is the family that Zhang Xiang belonged to, as it is a famous family in Lujiang, with mighty strength and a violent background, which the poor Qin family would not be able to compete with. Shuang asked his sister to go to her father and ask him to come back here, so his sister Xiao went to this place and found her father and asked her why she came here, so she told him that her brother was not dead and still alive, so her father ran home. He finds Shuang in good condition, and when Shuang sees him, he says to himself that he never had the opportunity to experience the feeling of father's tenderness in his previous life. His father asked him, "Did the second son of the Chang family force you to duel him? Just tell your father, and he will take care of justice for you." To bully then, he asks a father to let the past be in the past and look to the future, so his father is shocked by the way he spoke, so Chang tells him that looking forward to the future does not mean abandoning this hatred, as hatred alone cannot help them get out of this tragedy. His father found that he was right, and they should look to the future, and asked him not to go to the academy, starting tomorrow, and he would practice martial arts completely, so Zhou entered them and told her brother that her father's words were true. And that if he returns to the academy, he will be bullied again, and it is better to stay in Donglin City, so Shuang asked them not to rush to make a decision, thinking to himself that this is his family, whom he could not compensate when he died in his previous life, and now that he lives again, he must cherish them. Then he told them that if there was a dragon that could overturn the rivers and seas, and if a tiger could not roar proudly among the mountains and forests, he would not let the Qin family be bullied again. But when Chang thinks to himself, he finds that this was not Chuang's voice, and this is different from the real Chuang. He told them that he was a little tired and wanted to rest. When Chang sleeps, he thinks about the grudge that exists between the Zhang family and the Qin family, and why this family is so deteriorating. And we go to another place with this group of men talking about the Qin family and the family competition that occurs every 4 years and saying if Shuang dies, the Qin family will be removed and the male heir will be lost. This meant that the Qin family would lose the qualifications for the dynastic competition. This meant that they would lose the title to the competition. If they lost these qualifications, all the properties owned by the Qin family would change accordingly. The next day, Zhao goes to her brother and tells him that her father asked Nin to go to the hall because Din Jinpa from Tong Academy is here, so Chuang asked her why he came, and she told him that he came to offer his condolences. Shuang was surprised, because he knew that this man was present when Shuang and Zhang were dueling, and he watched the duel without hesitation. After that, Shuang went with his sister to his father, and there he found Lubist Gusheng, Shishai, and Jin Boy, the kind-hearted high priest. Jin Shuang asks him about his injury, and Shuang says to himself, how dare Jin Pui call himself a kind-hearted man? When Shuang was beaten, he ignored him, and now he pretends to be loved here. Then he tells him that his injury is no longer a serious problem. And he knows that this will lead to the disappointment of many people, so Jin wonders and asks himself why this child seems to be a different person because he dares to stand in front of him. Then his father asks them that the three of them did not come to check on Shuang only, so why did they all come? Gusheng told him that he had come here with some advice, since he knew about the assessment of the family class in 4 years and the current situation in which his family lived. Jin answered him, why are you talking about my family? In this way, the Shi family will guarantee the safety of his family. Jin said to him, does he think that the Qin family will surely lose in 4 years? Junsheng replied that he knows his family's poor situation better than him, and over the past 20 years many new forces have appeared. Does he think that he can keep his seat when someone else enjoys it? With stronger strength and better connections than him. Jin replied that he did not care what kind of contacts he had, but he did not think it was possible to extend his contacts to the Holy Land. Gusheng told him that the emperor does not care about the work of this small province, and besides, this world revolves around the survival of the fittest. So Cain got mad at him and said to him, it seems that he is here to destroy the track. He replied that he will leave his seat, regardless of what happens, and he will take care of his family, because they do not know if the Cain family can continue for another 4 years. Mr. Cain got more and more angry and that they knew that his Kim offspring had decreased, but he had not decreased to the extent that others could do what they wanted, and if he wanted something, let him come and take it, and he told him whether he stole it or threatened him, he would face all the attacks he sent. Shihai said to him, it looks like he will die in a glorious way, because he lives in shame. Qin replied that his ancestors set the rules. Whoever seeks to destroy the Qin family will destroy them with everything they own, regardless of the cost, and then kick them out of his house. Nor should I drop a rock on him. After that, Shuang made the decision to return to the academy in a hurry to go back to his hometown of Luzheng instead, and continued to train at home for a month. When he was training, he thought about the martial arts in the previous life, and in this life, he chose the King Kong fist as the main attack skill. In this world, a cultural base was vastly different from the previous life, and in the past life, there was no strict boundary between internal and external cultivation qualifications, where only external strength was trained to the limit and bodily functions to a certain height. When a person obtains inner strength, he will enter a stage called true strength. Then, he tells Shuang, when in his previous life, he was an advanced expert with both internal and external cultivation, and he was unbelievable in the world. In terms of levels, he could be a 9th stage true strength master or more if he were to use his experience from his previous realm in this world. After a month had passed, Shuang would reach the 7th stage of strength energy. If this continued within 3 months, he could break through strength energy and enter true strength. He would like to recover about 70 or 80% of his strength before assessing the family class. Shuang kept cultivating because he still had a long way to go. To get out of the peak of the 9th stage of strength energy, and as long as the family exists, all hope exists. When he finishes his training, he sees his sister wandering like this, so he asks her about what is happening, so she reassures him that she is fine and asks him about his training, but he knows that she was not well, and he asks her to tell him because he is her younger brother and he does not want her to hide anything from him. She told him that yesterday Ping had come to her from the Land Manor farm with a report of some business, and they talked for about an hour inside the house. And this morning his body was sent to the front door, so her brother asked her how that happened, and she told him that it was a devil who did that, and this devil tortured her for 6 years, so her brother marveled at her words, so she continued that when she was 12 years old, a devil told her that he liked her. He bragged that he would take her away after 10 years, and threatened her father so that he would not marry her to anyone. Otherwise, after 10 years, he would return to Donglin City to destroy the Qin family. Her father was afraid of Shuang's impatience, so he never told him. Where in the 6 years all the young men who spoke to her were either dead or missing. Then we go to the academy, which is divided into a dormitory for girls and a dormitory for boys, so the girls scream because some of their clothes have been stolen. So Shirtong asks this boy, whose name is Li Fei, did he see the thief? He asked him if he saw his appearance, so he denied Li Fei because it was too dark and he couldn't see him clearly, but he saw that he was slumping in the hall of the building. Shirtong thought that the side of the corridor is the girls' dormitory, which means that the thief is probably one of them and they should look for him because it is easy if the thief is one of them, then they will call all the boys and search every bedroom. But this girl, Miss Yoon, comes to them to investigate the situation by herself. Otherwise, the travelers might cover each other's boxes. They asked her if she had stolen her things as well. She told them that no one would dare to steal her clothes. Then she began searching all the rooms. And Yoon went to Shuang Kan's room and found that he was closing his door tightly, so I felt that he was the one who stole the clothes. Then Shuang opened and I recognized him and asked them about us. One of the boys told him that the girls' rooms had stolen their clothes, and the thief was probably one of them. If he was innocent, he made them search his room. He replied, why didn't he make Yoon search his room first, since he and his friends had nothing to hide, and told Yoon if there was no conspiracy against him, then she should search all the girls' traps. He told her that this would not work, and that they needed to give him their word. Then they told him that they would let her search their rooms after him, so he allowed her to search his room, and he did not do this to show her respect, but he just wanted to see who would be the source of the real laughter in the end. So Yoon entered the room and found nothing but a closed box, which she opened, and very dirty clothes came out of it. Yoon goes to the remaining rooms, so Shuang tells her that she forgot this room. Why did she not search it? So they start searching in it, as Shuang smells a girl's perfume, but Shirtong tells him that it is his room, and he is an honest man, and he also throws mud at him, as he can sue him because he defames the nobles. Shuang told him that he did not slander him, but he would know that after searching, so Shirtong became angry with him because he was from a noble and wealthy family, and he should not talk to him like that, and he told Miss Yoon to go and search the room, because everyone in the academy knows what kind of person he is. After that, Yoon entered his room and opened his locker, and found all the stolen clothes in it. Everyone was shocked by the situation, and Shuang said to himself that Shirtong was the one who abused himself, so Yoon got very angry at him and beat him, after which the news spread that Shirtong was the one who stole the girls' clothes.